The stars stretched like a sea of silver fire around the exploration ship Orion. Its metal hull glowed faintly under the distant light of a dying sun. Inside the ship, a man named Ryan Hale worked quietly at his station. He was an engineer and explorer, one of the few humans who had chosen to travel alone into the farthest corners of known space. His mission was to map unknown systems, gather minerals, and send data back to the Galactic Union. Ryan enjoyed the silence of space. He often said that the stars spoke more honestly than people did. Yet on that night, something disturbed the calm rhythm of his scanners. A faint signal appeared on his display. It was weak, irregular, and carried the old universal distress pattern used by alien fleets long ago. He frowned and tapped the console. "Computer, identify the source of that signal." The ship's artificial voice answered softly. "Unknown vessel. Signature does not match any recorded database. Signal located at coordinates 42/9 within asteroid cluster Theta 7. Ryan leaned back in his chair. Most explorers ignored distress calls in remote zones. The risk was high, and there was no reward for saving ghosts. But something about the tone of that signal made him pause. It sounded desperate and alive, as if someone was still out there fighting to survive. "Set course," he said firmly. The ship's engines flared blue, and Orion turned toward the asteroid field. The journey took only 20 minutes, but the closer he came, the more intense the readings became. The wreckage appeared suddenly between the rocks, a sleek silver ship torn apart by explosions. Its outer shell was covered in strange, curved markings, glowing faintly like veins of light. It was not human design. It was beautiful even in ruin. Ryan guided Orion carefully through the debris, avoiding floating fragments. He activated the docking field and extended a walkway toward the largest breach in the alien hull. "Atmosphere level is low but stable," said the ship's voice. Ryan grabbed his helmet and tools, locked the airlock, and stepped into the dark corridor of the wreck. The air smelled of burned metal and something faintly sweet. He turned on his wrist light. The beam revealed strange walls that seemed alive, pulsing faintly as if the ship itself still breathed. He moved slowly, checking each compartment. Most of the rooms were destroyed, filled with smoke and shattered glass. Then he heard it. A soft sound like a heartbeat mixed with breathing. It came from behind a half-collapsed door. Ryan pushed the metal aside and entered. There, lying against a broken console, was a figure unlike any he had ever seen. She was tall and slender, her skin faintly blue with a glow like moonlight. Silver lines ran across her arms, pulsing weakly. Her hair shimmered like glass threads. Even in her broken state, she looked graceful. She was still alive. Ryan dropped to one knee and opened his medical scanner. "Vital signs critical," the scanner said. "Unknown biology. Severe blood loss detected." He looked around the room but saw no medical pods or healing devices still working. Her ship's systems were dead. He took a breath and pressed a button on his communicator. "Computer, can you analyze her species and suggest treatment?" "Scanning," the voice replied. "Species not identified. Blood type unknown. However, her circulatory pattern shows partial compatibility with human plasma." Ryan's eyes widened. "You mean human blood might help her?" "It is a possibility. A transfusion may stabilize her for a short period." He hesitated. Giving blood to another species was dangerous. The wrong reaction could kill her or harm him. Yet as he looked at the alien woman's weak face, something inside him refused to walk away. She was alive and helpless in the middle of nowhere. If he left her, she would die alone in the cold darkness. He could not let that happen. He prepared the transfusion line. "Do it," he said. The computer guided him through the process. He connected a small bloodline from his arm to the alien's. As the red fluid began to flow, the scanner beeped rapidly. Her body reacted, her breathing deepened, and her chest rose slowly with life. The glowing veins across her skin brightened, turning from pale silver to warm gold. Her eyes opened. They were large, clear, and filled with light. She looked at him with confusion and fear at first, then calmness. Her lips moved, forming soft words in a language he did not understand. The ship's translator cracked and whirred, trying to decode the speech. At last, it produced a rough translation. "Who are you?" "Ryan," he said simply. "I am human. You were dying. I gave you my blood." She stared at the line connecting them. "Your blood carries warmth. It feels strange, but it saves me. You should not have done this." "It could harm you," Ryan smiled slightly. "I have been worse off." You needed help. Her head rested back against the console. My name is Alira. I am daughter of the Verilian Crown. My ship was attacked. My people are gone. Ryan stayed quiet. He could see the pain in her eyes, not just from the wounds, but from loss. Who attacked you? The Draven, she said. They are hunters of energy. They destroy what they cannot control. I fled with my guards, but they are all gone now. My ship crashed here. Ryan adjusted the blood flow and checked the readings. Your body is stabilizing. You should rest. Alira looked around the broken room. There is no place left to rest. My world burns and my people are scattered. Ryan did not know what to say. He felt a strange warmth in his arm, as if the blood connection carried more than life. His pulse matched hers for a moment, a rhythm that echoed between them. The ship's systems flickered as if reacting to that connection. Your energy is mixing with mine, she whispered. That is not possible. Our kinds are different. Maybe our blood is more alike than we thought, Ryan said gently. She looked at him again, studying his face as if memorizing it. You are strange, human. Your courage feels reckless. I have heard that before. Her lips curved slightly. If I survive this, I will owe you more than I can repay. He shook his head. Just stay alive. That is enough. For the next hour, Ryan worked to stabilize her ship's environment. He managed to restore limited power and lighting. The control screens came alive, showing fractured data about her world and the Draven fleet. Alira watched the glowing symbols with heavy eyes. The Draven will search for this ship, she said. If they find me, they will kill anyone near me. You must leave before they arrive. I'm not leaving you here to die again, Ryan said. My ship has space. I can take you to safety. Her voice weakened. You risk too much for a stranger. I do not see a stranger, Ryan replied. I see someone who needs help. That is enough reason. Alira lowered her eyes. Your heart is loud, Ryan. I can feel its strength. My people sense life energy. Yours burns brighter than most I have met. He did not know how to respond. He tightened the seals around her wounds and disconnected the bloodline. She was stable now, her glow returning to normal. When he helped her stand, she stumbled and he caught her by the arm. Her skin was warm, soft, and pulsing with faint energy. They walked together toward the dock tunnel. The corridor lights flickered as if the ship recognized its princess leaving for the last time. Alira looked back once, whispering a farewell in her language. A gentle breeze of energy flowed through the hall, carrying a sound like a sigh. When they reached Orion, Ryan guided her to the medical chamber. The ship analyzed her condition again and adjusted the oxygen mix to match her needs. He watched her rest as his own fatigue began to grow. The transfusion had drained him, but he refused to sleep until he knew she was safe. Alira opened her eyes once more. Why did you come for me? You could have ignored the signal. Ryan sat beside her. Because no one deserves to die alone in space. I have seen too much of that already. She studied him for a moment, then closed her eyes. Humans are strange. My people once thought your kind were simple creatures of iron and fire, but your heart carries something we lost long ago. What did you lose? He asked. Faith and compassion. He smiled faintly. Maybe we can help you find it again. For the first time since he met her, Alira laughed softly. It was a sound like the chime of glass. Perhaps you are right. Hours passed as the ship drifted quietly through the stars. Ryan sent a message to the nearest Union outpost for assistance. He prepared warm fluid for her to drink, and though their languages were still half broken, they began to share small words and gestures. She told him of her world filled with floating cities and rivers of light. He told her about Earth, blue oceans, and green forests. There was something peaceful in that exchange, as if two distant worlds had finally touched through kindness. Later, as Alira rested, the ship's sensors picked up distant movement, small signatures at the edge of the asteroid field. Ryan's heart tensed. Computer report. Unknown vessels approaching. Energy pattern matches recorded Draven weapon systems. He clenched his fists. They had found her. He turned toward Alira's chamber. She was awake, already sensing the danger. They are here, she said. They will not stop. Then we will not let them win, Ryan replied. Hold on. I will protect you. He ran to the control deck and activated the engines. The Orion roared to life, cutting through the darkness as the Draven signals grew stronger behind them. Alira appeared at the doorway, steadying herself despite her weakness. Her eyes glowed bright once more. Your blood is part of me now, she said softly. Our fates are joined. The ship surged forward, flames of blue thrust lighting its trail. Behind them, explosions. The Orion drifted silently through the endless stretch of stars, its engines humming a gentle rhythm as if the ship itself understood the fragility of life it carried. Ryan sat in the control room, eyes fixed on the glowing display of distant planets, but his mind kept returning to Alira. Her presence was unlike anything he had ever experienced. It was more than the faint glow of her skin or the grace of her movements. It was something alive, something that seemed to resonate with the pulse of the universe itself. Alira rested in the medical chamber, her body slowly recovering. The human blood Ryan had given her had done more than just stabilize her. It had created a connection neither of them fully understood. Ryan could feel it sometimes, a faint echo of her thoughts and emotions brushing against his own. At first it had startled him. Now he realized it was a gift, a bond that tied them together in a way he could not explain. "Ryan," she called softly. Her voice carried a musical tone, like wind passing through crystal chimes. He turned immediately. She was sitting up, her silver-blue skin glowing faintly under the chamber lights. "I can feel the connection. It is stronger than I expected." He stepped closer. "I can feel it too. It's strange. It is like your heartbeat is in sync with mine." Alira smiled faintly. "Yes, it is rare for our kinds to bond like this. Your blood carries more than life. It carries energy that resonates with mine. It has strengthened me beyond what I thought possible, yet it binds me to you in ways I do not fully understand." Ryan nodded slowly. He had spent a lifetime studying human physiology and mechanical systems, but this was entirely beyond his experience. The alien body in front of him operated with energies and rhythms he could not measure. Yet, despite the mystery, he felt only the need to protect her. "Tell me about your people," Ryan asked gently. "You said your kingdom was destroyed. I want to understand." Alira closed her eyes for a moment, drawing a deep breath. "We are the Varelians. Our people have lived among the stars for millennia. We do not merely inhabit worlds. We cultivate life, energy, and harmony. Our cities float in the skies, and our rivers glow with life energy. Every being has a role, every life is a thread in the fabric of the universe." Ryan listened intently. "And the Draven? They destroyed it all?" "Yes," she whispered. Her hands trembled slightly as she held her chest. "The Draven are hunters of energy. They take what we hold sacred and use it to strengthen themselves. They do not understand balance. They only seek power." Ryan frowned. "Why did they come after you specifically?" "I am the princess," she said. "I carry the last of our royal lineage. My life contains the energy of our people. If I survive, our knowledge and essence can continue. If I die, our culture will vanish." Ryan felt a weight settle over him. This was not just a rescue mission anymore. This was the survival of an entire civilization. He could not ignore it. "Then we will make sure you survive," he said firmly. "I will not let them take your life or your people's legacy." Alira looked at him, eyes filled with something like awe. "You are brave, human. Most would have left me to die. Your heart is rare among your kind. I can feel it. You do not act out of duty or fear. You act because it is right." Ryan shook his head. "I am not special. I just do not like seeing life end when it can be saved." She nodded slowly. "That is what makes you different. You carry light in your heart even when you do not realize it. Perhaps this is why our energies could bond. Perhaps the universe itself recognized the strength in your spirit." For a long while they sat in silence. The connection between them pulsed faintly, a quiet rhythm beneath the hum of the ship. Ryan could feel the ebb and flow of Alira's energy, her emotions brushing against his own. It was comforting even though it reminded him of the fragility of her life. "Ryan," she said suddenly, "there is something you must understand. The connection between us is rare. It cannot be undone. Your blood has become part of me, and in turn I have become a part of you. You may feel it now, but in the future it will grow stronger. It will shape your life in ways you cannot yet imagine." Ryan frowned. "Shape my life? How?" Alira's eyes glimmered with light. "When the time comes, you will see. The bond will guide you. You will face challenges that no human has ever faced, and you will not face them alone." He nodded slowly, uncertain how to respond. "I only want you to survive. That is all I need." Her lips curved faintly into a smile. "Your simplicity is your strength. Perhaps one day you will understand the depth of what you have given me." The next day, Ryan worked to restore more of the ship's systems. Alira observed quietly, still weak but regaining some strength. She was curious about human machines, asking questions about the engines, the life support, and the navigation systems. Ryan explained each part patiently, and she absorbed it with remarkable speed. Despite her frailty, her mind was sharp and her curiosity was endless. "You are clever," Ryan remarked as she leaned over a console. "You learn quickly," Alira smiled. "We Virelians must adapt quickly to survive. Knowledge is energy and energy is life." Ryan glanced at her. "Then your people were extraordinary." "Yes," she said quietly. "And now most are gone. I carry their memory, their essence in my body. That is why I cannot fail." Ryan felt a pang of sadness. "You will not fail. We will find a way to keep you safe." Alira nodded. "I must return to my people someday. I cannot remain in hiding forever." "But you have changed my fate. You have given me life when it was slipping away. I will never forget this." Ryan looked at her quietly. "You do not need to thank me. I did what I had to do." She took a deep breath. "Even so, I owe you a gift beyond anything you can imagine. One day I will repay your kindness. One day you will see that life can flourish from a single act of compassion." The days passed as they traveled through space. Ryan taught her about human culture, while she shared the wisdom of the Virelians. Their conversations spanned philosophy, ethics, energy manipulation, and the wonders of distant worlds. Each exchange deepened their bond, and the connection between their bloodlines strengthened in ways neither fully understood. One evening, as the twin suns of a nearby system set across the horizon of a barren planet, Alira stood on the observation deck looking at the glow. Ryan joined her. "Do you ever feel homesick?" he asked quietly. Alira's eyes reflected the fading light. "Every moment. But I cannot allow sorrow to control me. I must survive. I must honor my people. I must live so that the light of the Virelians continues." Ryan nodded. "I understand. I have lost people too. But sometimes hope is stronger than grief." She turned to him, her expression softening. "You are human, yet you carry wisdom that rivals the elders of my people. Perhaps that is why our lives are intertwined. You gave me life, and that gift cannot be measured." Ryan felt a strange warmth in his chest. "Then I suppose we are in this together." "Yes," Alira said, placing her hand lightly on the console. "Our fates are bound, but soon I must return. My people need me. If we stay hidden too long, the Draven will destroy what little remains." Ryan felt a lump in his throat. "I do not want to let you go, but I understand. You have a duty." Alira turned to him, her eyes bright with light. "You have given me more than life. You have given me hope, and for that I will honor you forever. When the time comes, you will see the gift of your courage and kindness. It is a gift that will transcend worlds." The next day, Alira prepared to leave. Ryan helped her to the ship's small escape pod, which had been repaired just enough to make the journey back to Virelia. She carried a small crystal sphere in her hand, glowing faintly with a golden light. "This is for you," she said. "It contains a fragment of my energy. When the stars call, it will guide you. Keep it safe." Ryan accepted it carefully. "I will, but I will miss you." She smiled faintly, her eyes glimmering. "And I will never forget you, Ryan Hale. Your courage has changed my destiny and the destiny of my people." He nodded, swallowing his emotions. "Go safely, Princess. I will watch over your path from here." As her pod launched into the starry void, Ryan watched the fading light. The glow of the crystal in his hand pulsed faintly, as if acknowledging the bond that now connected their lives. He felt a mixture of hope and sorrow. He had saved her life, but he could not yet understand the full consequences of that act. Something profound had begun, something that would ripple across the universe in ways he could not yet imagine. The Orion drifted onward, carrying Ryan and the memory of the alien princess he had saved. Outside, the stars shimmered silently. Inside, a quiet connection hummed between two beings whose lives were forever changed. The promise of a future gift, of a bond beyond imagination, lingered in the air, waiting for the moment when it would reveal its true power. Years had passed since Ryan Hale had rescued Alira, the Virelian princess. Life in space continued as it always did for him, quiet and filled with exploration. The Orion had been upgraded many times, traveling to systems that most humans had never seen. Ryan had grown accustomed to solitude, but he had never forgotten the blue-skinned princess whose life he had saved. The crystal sphere she had given him sat on his desk, glowing faintly as a reminder of that connection. Often he would hold it, feeling a strange warmth that seemed to pulse in time with his heartbeat. Ryan had never fully understood the depth of the bond that the transfusion had created. At first, it seemed like nothing more than a memory, a fragment of another life he had helped preserve. Yet over time, he sometimes felt a subtle presence, a faint echo of someone else's thoughts and emotions brushing against his own. It was like a whisper of energy that made him pause and wonder. One evening, while Ryan was charting a new star system, the crystal began to glow with a bright golden light. He picked it up carefully. The warmth was intense now, spreading from his hands to his chest. The light pulsed faster, as if alive. He stepped back, startled, and the air around him shimmered. Suddenly, a holographic projection appeared above the crystal. It was Alira, her image shining as if made of pure light. Her voice was soft but clear. "Ryan Hale, you have kept my gift safe. You have lived honorably, and now the time has come for our bond to awaken fully." Ryan's eyes widened. "Alira, is it really you?" "I am a part of you now as you are a part of me," she said. "Through the blood you gave me, a fragment of my life essence remained within you. The crystal has kept it safe until the moment was right. You will see why soon." The projection faded, replaced by a beam of golden light. Ryan instinctively stepped back as the beam solidified into a form. Standing before him was a young girl, unlike any human he had ever seen. She was small and delicate, with skin that shimmered silver blue like her mother's. Her hair glowed faintly, and her eyes reflected both human and Varelian traits. Ryan could not speak at first. Who are you?" he finally managed. The girl smiled softly. "My name is Mira. I am your daughter." Ryan stared at her, his mind struggling to process the words. "Daughter? How is this possible?" Mira stepped forward. "When you gave your blood to my mother, it merged with her essence. She preserved part of herself within you. When the time was right, I was born from that fusion. I am both human and Varelian, and I carry the life of both worlds." Ryan's hands trembled as he reached out to her. She did not step back, but instead placed her small hand in his. The warmth of her touch sent a surge of energy through him. It was real. She was real. And she was alive because of the bond he had shared with Alira. "You are a miracle," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I never imagined this could happen." Mira looked up at him with eyes filled with light. "It is more than a miracle. It is the result of your courage, your kindness, and the life you gave my mother. You are my father, Ryan, and I am here to continue the legacy you began." Ryan took a deep breath, still trying to comprehend everything. What do you mean by legacy?" Mira's gaze turned serious. "The Draven are returning. They have not forgotten my mother or what she represents. They seek to capture me, to use the energy of my combined lineage to grow stronger. I was created to protect the galaxy from them, and to unite the strengths of human and Varelian blood." Ryan felt a chill run down his spine. He had fought pirates, survived asteroid storms, and faced unknown dangers, but this was different. This was a threat that could destroy entire civilizations. And now his child was the target. "I will protect you," he said without hesitation. "No matter what it takes, I will not let them harm you." Mira nodded, her energy pulsing faintly. "I feel your courage, Father. It flows through me as well. Together, we can face what is coming. My powers are not fully developed, but I have the essence of both our worlds. I am stronger than the Draven realize." Ryan smiled faintly, trying to mask the worry he felt. "Then let's make sure they learn that their strength is no match for unity." Over the next few days, Ryan began teaching Mira about humanity, the ways of life, survival, and the emotions that defined him. He showed her books, images of Earth, and stories of human courage. Mira absorbed everything with remarkable speed. She was intelligent, perceptive, and curious, always asking questions about the world she had never seen. In return, Mira began to teach Ryan about her Varelian abilities. She could manipulate energy, create shields of light, and sense the emotions of those around her. Her powers were strongest when she concentrated, but even small gestures revealed incredible potential. Ryan watched in awe as she raised her hand and a small object hovered in midair, guided only by her mind. "You are incredible," he said quietly. "Your mother would be proud." Mira smiled softly. "I carry her strength, and now your strength as well. You are my heart and my guide, Father. Together, we are more than either of us alone." But the peace did not last. One evening, while Ryan and Mira trained in the ship's gravity chamber, the ship's sensors detected unusual movement nearby. Red blips appeared on the navigation screen, fast-moving ships of unfamiliar design. The signature matched the Draven. Ryan's heart sank. They found us. Mira's eyes narrowed. I can feel their energy. They are hunting me. We must act quickly, Ryan nodded. Prepare yourself, Mira. This is what we have trained for. As the Draven ships approached, Mira raised her hands, forming a shield of golden energy around the Orion. The ships fired, but the energy barrier absorbed the blasts, sending ripples of light across the hull. Ryan took control of the ship, maneuvering through the asteroid field with precision. His engineering skills and Mira's powers combined to make them a formidable team. One of the Draven ships broke through the initial defense, sending a beam toward the hull. Mira focused her energy, raising a second shield around the impact zone. Sparks flew and the ship shuddered, but the shield held. Ryan quickly calculated a path through the field, dodging debris and enemy fire. Father, I can extend the shield to cover us completely, but it will drain me, Mira said. Her voice steady but strained. Ryan shook his head. Do it. We need every advantage we have. Mira closed her eyes and concentrated. A dome of pure light expanded around the Orion, covering it completely. The Draven ships fired repeatedly, but the beams could not penetrate the energy barrier. Mira's strength held, though sweat and energy sparks formed across her glowing skin. Ryan guided the ship into a hidden corridor of the asteroid field, buying them time. He looked at Mira, whose eyes reflected determination and exhaustion. You are amazing, he said. I learned from the best, she replied, giving a small smile. From you, Father. Hours passed as they navigated the dangerous field, avoiding the Draven and finding a safe path to the Galactic Union outpost. Mira's energy slowly returned to normal, but the battle had left her exhausted. Ryan carefully monitored her condition, adjusting the ship's life support to support her alien physiology. When they finally reached the outpost, they were greeted by Union officers and scientists who had heard of the Virelian threat. Mira's presence stunned everyone. Her combination of human and Virelian traits made her unique. Scientists marveled at her abilities, while officers realized the importance of protecting her at all costs. Ryan stepped aside and let Mira speak. I am here to continue my mother's mission, she said. Her voice was calm, yet carried the authority of both her human and Virelian heritage. The Draven seek to destroy life and steal energy. I will not allow that. I will protect this galaxy, and I will not be alone. My father stands with me. The officers and scientists bowed slightly. They recognized the gravity of the moment. This child, born from a selfless act of kindness, carried the hope of two worlds. Ryan felt a swell of pride as he watched Mira stand tall. She was no longer just a child. She was a symbol of unity, courage, and the strength that comes from compassion. He realized that the gift he had given her mother years ago had created something far beyond imagination. As the outpost prepared defenses and coordinated with the Union fleets, Ryan held Mira's hand gently. Whatever comes next, we face it together, he said. Mira nodded, her eyes glowing softly. Together, Father. Our bond is our strength, and it will guide us through the darkness. The stars outside the station shimmered, silent witnesses to the arrival of a new hero. Mira, the daughter of human and Virelian blood, had returned to the galaxy, carrying the legacy of courage and kindness. The Draven would soon learn that the gift of life and the bond it created was more powerful than any force they had ever known. Ryan looked at the crystal on his desk, now glowing faintly in resonance with Mira's energy. He understood now that this was not just a memory. It was a beginning. A new chapter had begun, one that would change the course of the galaxy forever. And in that moment, father and daughter stood together, ready to face whatever awaited them, knowing that the bond formed by a single act of selfless kindness had become the greatest weapon the universe had ever seen. The Galactic Union outpost was alive with activity. Scientists and officers moved quickly, coordinating defenses and monitoring the Draven fleet that lurked near the edge of known space. Ryan Hale watched from the observation deck as Mira trained quietly, her glowing hands weaving small shields and energy constructs around herself. She had grown stronger over the weeks since her arrival, but Ryan knew that the Draven would test her abilities in ways no training could prepare her for. Father, Mira said softly. Turning toward him, I can feel them moving closer. They sense my energy and they are preparing to strike. Ryan's jaw tightened. Then we need a plan. The Union fleets are powerful, but the Draven are cunning. They will not come with just brute force. They will try to divide and conquer. Mira nodded. We need to unite human and Varelian strengths. My powers are amplified by your courage and the human spirit. Together we can defend more than this outpost. Ryan placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. We will. We always find a way. But remember, your safety comes first. They spent the next few hours reviewing star charts and battle strategies. Ryan calculated the best positions for the Union fleets, using his knowledge of the asteroid belts and the gravitational fields nearby. Mira studied the energy flows in the area, sensing patterns that only her kind could detect. Her understanding of the environment allowed them to anticipate enemy movements with surprising accuracy. Father, she said finally, I think I can use my energy to cloak the fleet temporarily. It will not last long, but it might give us an advantage. Ryan nodded. If we can surprise them, we can turn the battle in our favor. But you must be careful. I will be with you every step. The Draven fleet arrived before dawn. Their ships were sleek and black, moving like predators through the void. Ryan's hands flew over the controls, sending commands to the Union ships, while Mira's energy flowed outward, forming a shimmering veil that masked the fleet from enemy sensors. For a few tense minutes, the Draven ship scanned the area, unaware that a powerful force lay hidden just beyond their sight. Then Mira released a pulse of energy, and the fleet emerged suddenly from the shadows, surrounding the Draven. Ryan's tactical knowledge allowed the Union ships to strike in perfect formation. Blasts of energy collided with enemy shields, and explosions lit up the darkness. Mira raised her hands, weaving shields and protective barriers that deflected the most dangerous attacks. The Draven quickly realized they were facing more than just human technology. Target the child, one of their commanders ordered. Capture her at all costs. She is the key to the Varelian energy. Without her, their defenses will fall. Ryan gritted his teeth. Not if I have anything to say about it. He piloted the Orion directly into the center of the battle, weaving between enemy fire to reach Mira. The energy from her shields radiated outward, stabilizing nearby ships and protecting them from destruction. Ryan shouted instructions over the comms, coordinating every move with precision. The Draven were skilled, but they had never faced an opponent with such unity of mind, body, and energy. Mira's hands glowed brighter as she channeled more power. Her eyes reflected determination and focus. Father, I feel their energy weakening. We can do this, Ryan nodded. Then we finish it now. Trust me. Together they struck at the Draven flagship. Mira focused her energy on a single point, creating a concentrated beam that pierced the enemy shields. Ryan guided the Orion to fire its main cannons in synchronization, striking the flagship with devastating effect. The ship shuddered violently, its systems failing one by one. The remaining Draven ships hesitated, confused by the sudden loss of command. The Union fleet pressed the advantage, and under Mira's guidance, the energy shields allowed them to push back effectively. Explosions illuminated the void, and the Draven fleet began to retreat. Ryan watched as Mira's energy slowly faded, leaving her exhausted, but triumphant. He moved to her side immediately. Are you all right? He asked, concern evident in his voice. Mira nodded, breathing heavily. I am fine, Father. But this is only the beginning. They will return stronger and more determined. Ryan placed a hand on her shoulder. Then we will be ready. We have something they will never have, unity. Your strength and mine together. That is more powerful than any weapon. In the days that followed, Mira continued to grow in power and skill. Ryan worked alongside her, teaching her how to combine human strategy with Varelian energy manipulation. They trained tirelessly, perfecting techniques that could protect entire fleets and even planetary systems if necessary. Mira's presence inspired not just Ryan, but also the soldiers and scientists around her. The Union realized that she was more than a child. She was a symbol of hope, a living bridge between two civilizations that had never truly met. Her courage and determination inspired even the most seasoned officers to act with renewed vigor. One evening, while resting in the observation deck, Ryan and Mira watched the stars together. The battle was over for now, but the war was far from finished. Mira leaned against him slightly, her small hand resting in his. Father, she said softly, I can feel the Draven preparing for another attack. They will not stop until they capture me or destroy everything I protect. Ryan nodded. Then we must be ready. We cannot let fear control us. Courage and unity will guide us. Mira looked up at him, her eyes shining with determination. I understand. And I have something else now. I can feel your heart, Father. Not just as blood, but as courage and love. It gives me strength beyond my own. Together we are more than either of us alone. Ryan smiled, though his heart was heavy with the responsibility that lay ahead. We will face whatever comes together. The next attack came sooner than expected. The Draven fleet returned with new reinforcements, their ships more numerous and their weapons more advanced. Mira and Ryan coordinated with the Union, using a combination of human tactics and Varelian energy to create defensive zones. Mira's powers had grown to the point where she could manipulate energy on a large scale, forming shields to protect entire sectors of the fleet. Ryan guided the ships through narrow asteroid belts, creating traps and ambushes that slowed the enemy. Mira's energy flowed through the fleet, boosting shields and providing guidance that sensors could not detect. The Draven were skilled and ruthless, but the unity of human and Varelian strength was something they could not overcome. During the battle, Mira faced a direct attack from a Draven commander. He aimed a concentrated beam at her, intending to pierce her shields. Mira reacted instinctively, raising her hands and unleashing a burst of energy that not only blocked the attack, but sent the Draven ship spinning away. Ryan immediately followed, firing the Orion's main cannons to disable the enemy vessel completely. The victory was hard-won, but it demonstrated the growing power of the human Varelian team. Mira's abilities continued to evolve, and Ryan's experience and strategy ensured they were always one step ahead. After the battle, Ryan and Mira stood on the observation deck, watching the remnants of the Draven fleet retreat. Mira's small body glowed faintly with residual energy, her hair shimmering like silver-blue fire. "Father," she said, her voice quiet but resolute, "we have won today, but the war is far from over. The Draven will learn from their mistakes and they will return stronger." Ryan nodded. "Then we must be ready. Every day, every moment we prepare. Courage and unity will be our strength. You are not alone, Mira. We are together in this always." Mira smiled, leaning against him slightly. "Together, Father. Always." The stars outside shone like countless eyes, silent witnesses to the rise of a new force in the galaxy. Mira, the daughter of human and Varelian blood, had grown into her power. Ryan, her father, remained her guide, mentor, and protector. Together they were more than human or Varelian. They were a legacy, a symbol of hope, courage, and unity that could stand against any darkness. As they prepared for the challenges ahead, Ryan held the crystal that Alira had given him years ago. It pulsed faintly, resonating with Mira's energy. He understood now that the gift he had given her mother had created a bond that could change the fate of the galaxy, and together he and Mira would ensure that this bond became the shield of life, courage, and hope for all civilizations. The sun of the small outpost world rose over the metallic roofs and glowing fields. The colony was quiet and peaceful, far from the wars that once tore the stars apart. In a small workshop stood Rian, a man with tired eyes but a calm smile. He was older now, his hair touched with silver, but his spirit still held the same strength that once saved a dying alien princess. Beside him stood a young girl named Arin. Her eyes were bright with silver light, and her presence felt both human and something more. She was the daughter of two worlds, and Ryan knew her destiny would be far greater than this simple place. Arin often asked her father about her mother. Rian told her stories about Princess Alara, about how she had fought bravely for her people and how her kindness had saved many lives. Arin listened with wide eyes, always asking for more. She wanted to know everything about the Serin people, about their home among the stars, and about the bond her parents once shared. Ryan kept a small crystal on his desk, glowing faintly with blue light. It was Alara's final gift, said to hold her essence. Sometimes when Arin touched it, the light would grow stronger, as if recognizing her. Arin was no ordinary child. She could sense the emotions of others. When someone was sad, she could feel their pain and ease it with a gentle touch. When someone was angry, her calm presence softened their hearts. The colonists respected her and often called her the miracle child, but Ryan knew she was more than that. She carried within her the power of two species, the balance of energy and humanity. He often feared that one day the galaxy would notice her light and danger would follow. One evening, as Ryan worked on repairing a broken drone, Erin stood outside gazing at the sky. She could feel a strange pull in her chest, as if something far away was calling her. The stars shimmered more brightly that night and the air felt charged. She whispered softly, asking if it was her mother's voice she was hearing. A gentle wind blew across her face, warm and full of life. She smiled and went back inside, not knowing that her life was about to change forever. The next morning, strange lights appeared in the sky. At first, the colonists thought it was a meteor shower, but the lights moved in perfect formation. Ryan looked through his scanner and froze. They were ships, not human ships, but Saren vessels. He had seen those shapes before during the war. His heart raced, unsure if they were friend or foe. The ships descended slowly, and one of them landed near the colony's edge. Erin ran toward the landing site before Ryan could stop her. The ship's doors opened and several Saren stepped out. Their silver skin reflected the sunlight and their eyes glowed with calm power. The leader stepped forward and bowed deeply when he saw Erin. His voice echoed softly, filled with respect. He called her the Bridge Child, the one foretold in Saren prophecy. Ryan caught up and stood beside his daughter, ready to protect her if needed. The Saren leader spoke again, saying that Alara's essence had returned to guide them to Aran. They had come to honor her and to ask for her help. The Saren people were still scattered and weak. The Dravok had not been fully defeated. They were rebuilding in hidden systems. The Saren needed unity, and their legends spoke of a child born from two worlds who would lead them into a new age. Ryan looked at his daughter, uncertain. Aran listened quietly. She could feel truth in their words and a deep sadness in their hearts. She turned to her father and placed her hand on his arm. She told him she must go with them, that this was what her mother wanted. Ryan's heart ached. He had already lost Alara once, and now he feared losing Aran too. But when he saw the determination in her eyes, he understood. He told her that destiny was not about blood or power, but about the choices she made. He reminded her that she carried both human courage and serene grace. With that strength, she could change the galaxy. Aran hugged him tightly and promised she would return. The Saren ship took off, rising through the clouds and vanishing into the stars. Ryan watched until the sky was empty. He returned home and looked at the glowing crystal on his desk. For the first time in years, he heard a faint voice whisper from it. It was Alara's voice, gentle and full of warmth, saying that their daughter was not alone. Ryan smiled through his tears. On the Saren homeworld, Aran saw a place both beautiful and broken. The cities were ancient, their towers cracked and their skies dim from years of war. The Saren greeted her with reverence, but she could feel their fear beneath the respect. They did not only see her as a savior, they saw her as something they could not understand. She was part human, and her presence reminded them of the past, the fall of their empire and the cost of pride. Aran began to learn from them, studying their language, history, and control of energy. Yet she also taught them something new. When disagreements arose, she spoke of unity and compassion. When they felt despair, she showed them hope through action. She repaired machines with her father's methods and healed others with her mother's gift. Slowly, the Saren began to see her not as a symbol, but as a leader who cared for them. One night, as she meditated beneath the twin moons, she sensed darkness approaching. A Dravok fleet had entered Saren space. The old enemy had returned, seeking to capture her power. Aran alerted the council and prepared for battle. The Saren fleet gathered, but their numbers were few. She remembered her father's words, human courage and Saren grace. She stepped forward and connected her mind with the crystal she carried, the same one her mother had given Ryan. A wave of light surrounded her. She saw visions of her mother and father both watching over her. Ilara's voice guided her, teaching her to balance human will with Saren energy. Aran lifted her hands and light spread through the Saren ships. Their energy cores began to resonate with her heartbeat. When the Dravok arrived, they unleashed their power. Beams of darkness met waves of shining light. Aran stood in the center of it all, her eyes glowing brighter than the stars. She extended her hand, and the life thread awakened once more. The energy that once saved Alara now flowed through Aran. It spread across the battlefield, turning fear into strength. The Saren fought with renewed spirit and their ships moved like living light. The Dravok fleet broke apart under the wave of unity and was forced to retreat into the void. When the battle ended, silence filled the stars. Arin had not only defended the Siren but had proven that two species could stand together as one. After the victory, the Siren built a great monument in honor of both Alara and Rian. Arin stood before it and whispered a promise. She said she would travel the galaxy to bring peace between all races. Not through conquest but through understanding. The Siren Council offered her the title of High Protector, but she refused, saying that titles were not what made a leader. What mattered was the will to protect life. Years later, legends spread across the galaxy about a girl with silver eyes who healed planets and ended wars without firing a single weapon. Some called her the Daughter of Stars, others the Bridge of Life. Few knew her true story, the story of a human who gave his blood to save a dying princess and created a bond that changed the universe. On a quiet day, far from the center of power, Ryan sat in his workshop looking up at the sky. A familiar light streaked across the heavens. He smiled, knowing his daughter was out there, fulfilling her destiny. The crystal beside him glowed softly once more, and for a moment he felt both Alara and Arin watching over him. The stars above shone brighter, as if the galaxy itself remembered the bond that had united two worlds forever. Arin's journey had just begun, and wherever she went, hope followed. The galaxy had seen many wars and endless darkness, but through her light, life found balance again. Her mother's grace and her father's courage lived within her, guiding every step. The story of Rian, Alara, and Arin became more than history. It became a legend, a tale told across worlds, reminding all beings that the greatest power in existence was not destruction or fear, but love, sacrifice, and the will to protect.